Yo, what's up, traders? It is Andrew Rohack here coming at you with a quick midweek update. So I want to go over Monday, Tuesday, and we'll do a little bit of Wednesday's trades because it's hump day. First things first, let's take a look at the chart and see what's gone on so far this week. As you can tell, 3 days and we haven't gone hardly anywhere as of yet. So we're still kind of just sitting stuck in this sideways at this point. We've got no news, so there's really no catalyst to kind of drive anything anywhere, right? So this white line here is the VWAP off of start of the year. The green line is the high of year, and we're kind of just riding above here, but we're not really taking off and making that a higher high at this point based off of where we kind of arc from. So that's the daily chart. Real quick, let's go back and take a look at the trades. So this is Monday's trade. This is the only trade that I took on Monday. I took this. I only traded one account on Monday. I just passed the funding challenge last Friday. Came into this week, really didn't want to get too crazy with things and start throwing risk around, and wanted to make sure that I was still kind of in the pocket, we'll say, in the zone, and finding good setups and taking appropriate risks and things of that sort. So this was the trade that I took on Monday. I was in Cape May. I was not at home at my usual enterprise here, so was a little reticent to be trying to trade other accounts. Saw an opportunity set up after the open, didn't have too much time left at the desk, so wanted to see if I could eke out a quick win. Took along, added, as you can see here, I added in the position. This actually isn't marked up totally right because I went back and I marked this up, and we're gonna get to that in just a second. So took this long here, added into the position here, kind of averaged me out into where I have the line drawn. When we came down and I was still at the desk at my computer when I was in Cape May. So when we made this higher low here, I had trailed the stop. Now here's the trick, right? So I had a 150K and a 50K account. I loaded up Trade so I could use the copier and executed the trade on Trade added my stop loss on Trade didn't put in any take profit though. No, so just a stop loss and just the entry, right? Cool. Switched over to TradingView and was managing the trade on TradingView from the 150K account. So trailing stops and things of that sort, and then had to close up shop at Cape May because we had to travel on back home. So figured locked my stop, didn't really anticipate it coming back below that thing. Structurally, it looked pretty good to just take off. Well, while I was driving, got the notification that I got tapped out. As you can see here, it comes back, touches the daily, totally taps me out. I'm thinking, damn, loss, no big deal. Have other stuff that I need to do when I get home, so not going to waste my time trying to chase the market and take any trades. Well, I'm sitting here doing my other job. I'm a real estate appraiser, so I'm sitting here doing that work. Just kind of watching things in the BSC in the group chat, watching things go along, and switch over from the 150K to the 50K account, and come to find out that I'm $1,000 in profit. Wasn't expecting that. Then I came to realize that I forgot that when you do things on TradingView, it does not transpose to the other account because it doesn't do any of the copying. You can only do that from Trade. So, whoops, lesson learned. Happy little lesson, because at the end of the day, my 50K account is up $1,000. Not to mention that had I actually left it in there, I probably would have caught this little pop and been up 1,500 on the day, halfway to being passed. No big deal. Was happy to take that 1,000, especially after considering that I should have been tapped out if they had both trailed the stop. So it was a happy little surprise, and it really, all in all, it wasn't that bad of a trade. And what I learned from this trade and even Friday's trade is that if you have the stop loss that you throw on a trade is there for a reason. You didn't just place it there out of random acts, right? You knew that I went into this trade or Friday's trade kind of knowing that was the level where it's like, if it absolutely is going to fall below that, like, we're done. I'm out. Like, we're not looking at longs anymore. Now we're probably considering shorts, or we're just totally sideways, and I'm just like on the wrong side of things. So that stop loss that I had, very, very valid, right? So just something worth holding into and having not moved. Now, at the same time, like, you want to kind of be aggressive and trail the stops. I think that if I were sitting here managing this when it got back above into profit here and wasn't taking out these highs for, back at the start of my trade, I probably would have been taking profit and been out of the trade and then waiting to, throw risk around later on in the day and like catch this move right here or something like that. But either way, it was just a happy little win. That was Monday, just one trade on Monday, still in control of myself. And then Tuesday is where things kind of, weren't too bad. We took, 10 total trades. That's not including the funded account, which we're going to get to that hot mess in just a second. So 10 trades, 7 winners, 1 loss, a couple scratches in there, and I can show you the breakdown of that real quick so you can see. This is over 2 different accounts, right? So I have Top Step X now after the announcement of the $20 or $19 for 50K. So I bought 10 50Ks, and I'm going to be copying those. I'm just going to slowly work my way to passing those. So this is between the Top Step X account and also the Top Step, my 50K, right? So took 2 trades on the Top Step X account, which is the 146 and the 142. So I was up a nice little like 280 on that. And then the rest of this was on the Top Step X account. So at the end of this mess, I actually was up another 500, halfway to being past another combine. And the trades that I took include this one. This was on the Top Step X account, small contract size, not very heavy into it. Obviously I only made 150, trying to be very methodical and very key on entries with that stuff. So again, just a nice entry coming off the daily here. As we're kind of chopping around, we're making these higher lows, and another nice touch. Could have taken the A2. That could have been a reason to add back in, something that I need to practice. And then just a quick run to 1R, and as soon as it gets to 1R, I'm good, I'm out, done. Another trade that I took is actually, we can ignore this. This right here is just a markup, but I took this short on the 50K. No, this was also on the Top Step X account. As we're making a high here and then finding respect to this high of day VWAP, and then another touch to it here where we can't get back above. We've got these equal little highs. I get back in short, catch a nice rip down back to the daily, and then close out. And then once we got back to the daily and I saw this rejection, that's where I was kind of like, man, I should probably be looking to buy this. And this is also something where it's like, I need a little bit more experience, a little bit more practice in terms of just coming up with, like, we're touching the daily here. Like, we know that this is a strong buy, especially if structurally we're looking at things going north. And I'm trying to short this when really it's like I should just be ready to buy it as soon as it gets back to the daily and throw some sort of size and risk onto that trade. But regardless, so I take that on the Top Step X account. Now I'm up that 280. Lock myself out of that. It's the best freaking thing I can do, because guess what? The last thing I want to do is end up trying to like find other moves and just chop up the profits that I have. So that was a nice little feature, and I wish that I had that on all my accounts, because man, I am lacking discipline. Regardless, I get in long again. Yeah, because we're looking at this as if it were on the Top Step 50K account, right? Not the Top Step X accounts. This is the 50K combine. So you see my entry here, right? As soon as this candle closes, I actually buy back in, and then I sell out of the position because I kind of get nervous that, well, maybe this actually is going to fall. When really, again, this is something that I'm working on, where it's like, be convicted on the risk that I have on the trade. If it's a $200 potential loss, are you really going to be upset about that $200 loss if you get that price? No, not at all. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But structurally, and you can't see it back here, but all we're doing is just making higher lows and higher highs along the way. It's just I'm on a 2-minute time frame, so it looks like there's all these intra lows and intra highs being created along the way, when actually on a higher time frame, it's just a higher low. So I really need to find some conviction and in the risk and that sort of play, and be focused on getting the best price, because instead I actually do get in here and then get out here for a nice little pop. Actually, no, I take that back. This was a scratch. This got back up into profit. I trailed to stop the break even and then got tapped out. That's when I kind of went off the rails, because then instead of getting back in here, now I'm looking at this sort of trade along here and then taking another short. And this was the other short that I had on Tuesday to eke out a little bit more profit. And then this was one of the other trades that I took. I think this was also on the 50K account, where we were just kind of chopping around. This was later on in the morning, and we had a nice riser. I got into this late. There actually should be a high of day anchor here, so as soon as we break that anchor, I get long with a nice tight stop, and just take it off when we get back to these highs. When really, again, this is another one where it's like I just don't know. I can't make the decision quickly enough in terms of like, do I just want to trail a stop and see if this is going to push higher and lock in profits, like take all the risk off the table and see if this is going to pop? And on the potential aspect of like in this trade here where I take a donut when I trail the stop, like I leave that potential on the table because I was up like another $400 or $500 at this point on this trade, and I could have just taken those profits and walked away. Instead, I end up getting tapped out. It chops around down here, which again, if I would have got the better price, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But get tapped out, and then now I'm taking the donut when I could have just secured that and then just reassess what happens, or just miss the entire move, and that would have been fine too, I guess, because I'm already out with $500. So, look, going back to this trade, it's like, yeah, if I trail the stop, like I'd be in it, I'd be catching the rest of this move. So it's a little frustrating, and it takes, I guess it would really require some back testing to figure out how many times does this happen if I were to trail the stop where it pops off, or how many times am I trailing the stop, taking risk off the table, and then getting tapped out for a donut? Because if it's like 60-40 getting tapped out for nothing, then I'm pretty sure I would rather just take 1R or take my money off the table every time. So that was Tuesday. Tuesday was fine all the way up until I started clicking around a little bit with the funded account. So let's take a look at that one. Yeah, you're reading that right. Down 1,000. Oh, man. And yes, 17 trades, 9 wins, 8 losses. What a hot mess. 905 in a drawdown plus $140 in commissions. I am in drawdown now on this. I could not catch the right side of a move. And it all started with this short that I got into that didn't do anything, and I lost like $5 on. And then just decided after that, like, oh, well, let me just try and get that back and get back to break even, and just like, we'll just wipe it out and like act like it didn't happen. Well, then I quickly just take a $300 loss because it just slides away from me because I'm not really taking any sort of structural trade. And now I'm going click happy because now I'm just trying to catch a move and just like make some of that money back every single which way possible. Even switched over to NQ to try and catch some of the volatility. Right back to my old bad habits. What a fucking hot mess that is. Like, really need to reel that back in. So today, again, did not take any trades on that account. Only traded the accounts that I really just have zero respect for at this point, which I had 2 my funded futures accounts that were in drawdown that I'm really not interested in restarting, because I'd actually, my focus right now is to switch over to the Top Step X and focus on Top Step X in this funded account, and really just quit everything else that I'm messing around with. I've got Apex accounts waiting in the wings that I haven't even touched yet, so we're just going to kind of leave that stuff where it's at, focusing on Top Step at the moment and my funded accounts. So today I kind of just went in messing around with, I took 2 trades on the 50K account, which I can just show you exactly where I did with those. So when we started falling back down here to the Asian range low, and we started to kind of bounce, tried to get long there, whoops, no good. And then again, when we were here, I think probably somewhere on that 5-minute bar, I tried getting in, stop at the low, and sure enough, we tank. It's another situation where why do I continue to try and call the bottom and catch the falling knife when all I really should be doing is thinking about what kind of risk do I want to put on for this to go lower? And then if it tells me that it doesn't want to go lower, if like my risk is wrong, then I can flip the bias and I can work on catching this move, on going the other direction. Because look at what happens when it actually does turn around. Like, we make a very, very clear like push away from the lows here, and then we hold those lows. So the better idea would have been here. Whoops, that's the wrong one. The better idea would have been getting in long here with the stop at the low of day back to the daily, and we've got a nice 1.61 rip on that. So again, just keep making these mistakes, and we have yesterday's low zone in the way here where we clearly did slow down and we bounced off of. But if I'm going to call that bounce, I need to be prepared to buy it in here and take it back up. I can't be trying to buy it when it actually does bounce at the height, because I both these trades right into drawdown each time, and it just sucked me right in, and just what a hot mess. And then after that, I just walked away from the charts because I didn't even want to mess with anything. And then, not to mention, later on in the day, I'm messing around with my other accounts. Like I told you, I have the other 200K accounts with my funded futures, and I could not find the broadside of a barn door, man. I could not catch the right side of any of these trades. So just not in the pocket today. Happy to be keeping my fingers off of the Top Step X account. Like once I realized I wasn't winning anything, locked myself out of that and knew not to even play around with the funded account because just could not get the right call. Just antsy and eager to get into a trade and try and catch the right side of things. And you can see all these pins. Like I just was trading in this window right here, right? All of that, and just it's a choppy hot fucking mess and just beat me up. So shit that I'm trying to stay out of at this point, and happy that I kind of kept things they weren't nice and tidy because I had some terrible trades today and just some bad reads, like I said, with those shorts. But hey, shit happens. Fortunately, it was just on combines, you know, trying to see if I'm going to catch anything with those and maybe get a couple of those along, you know, pressed along, and maybe get a couple other funded accounts kind of sitting out in the wings. If I had, instead of having like 5 challenges going, if I had 5 funded accounts going and I'm doing bad on one, and then I can just jump to another one when I actually see a better setup coming, you know, that to that effect, I might, you know, I'd probably feel a little bit lighter in terms of mental capital being used up. But after yesterday and the losses, just kind of had to push that one aside, hit the reset button. Probably not going to be doing too much tomorrow or even Friday, though I do know that we have news, so we'll see. I still have a couple challenges that I can mess around with, and really just want to hyper focus again on getting back to like 1, 2, maybe 3 trades, really focusing on a stop loss, but really just saying this is all I'm risking today. Right? I'm just risking 750 today, period. Like across all accounts. If I lose 750 at any given moment, done for the day, walk off. And then also creating some strict hours, because right now I'll sit here all day. I'll skip getting a shower to go out and do my inspections. I'll be late to all my freaking inspections. I won't eat. Like I'm just treating myself and my personal life like trash right now, and really just need to get all that shit back in order, because I can't just be sitting here all goddamn day, man. I'm driving myself nuts. So I need to get myself some discipline and get things back together again, and get things under control. So that's the plan for the rest of the week here. So hopefully we can string together a good Thursday and a good Friday, and build on that coming into next week. So let's see what we can do. If you're still watching, I appreciate you taking the time to see what's going on in my trading world. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Subscribe so that you don't miss any more of these daily, bi-weekly, weekly reviews in the future, and can keep tabs on where I'm going. I'd love to hear about where you're at in your journey as well. So feel free to leave some comments and subscribe to keep tabs on me, and I will see you out on the charts. Catch you later, guys.